woman noticed something odd the moment she boarded the plane. Long-haul flights were usually packed, yet at that moment, only she and her daughter had boarded. Her daughter had grown silent since boarding, and a vague unease washed over her. Fortunately, passengers began trickling onto the plane moments later. Kayla didn't notice anything unusual, which eased her mind slightly. This was a 10-hour long-haul flight. Soon after takeoff, everyone drifted into deep sleep. Kay noticed 2 empty rows in the rear cabin and took her daughter there to lie down. When she awoke from her nap, her daughter was gone. At first, Kyle didn't grasp the gravity of the situation, assuming her daughter had wandered off to play. Only after searching every corner of the 3-deck cabin without success did panic finally set in. After hearing her story, a flight attendant made an announcement asking all passengers to keep an eye out for a blonde girl around 6 years old. Strangely, hours passed without any sightings. Even the passenger seated in front of Kyle claimed not to have noticed she had a child with her. Kyle felt dazed. Rushing back to her seat, she saw her daughter's beloved teddy bear still there. She urgently demanded a full search of the entire aircraft. The crew dismissed her concerns, insisting no one could have left the pressurized cabin at 30,000 feet. They promised to report the matter to the captain later. Yet 10 minutes passed without any search being conducted. Suddenly, Kyle noticed 2 flight attendants whispering frantically. She rushed over, demanding to know if something had happened to her daughter. One attendant, having just ended a call, stated they hadn't found Kyle's child. The flight attendant contacted ground control, but they found no boarding record for her daughter, nor was her name on the passenger manifest. Kyle found this utterly absurd and hurriedly pulled out her boarding pass to prove it, only to discover that the only boarding pass in her pocket was her own. Kyle instantly felt a chill run down her spine. She rushed to open the overhead compartment and discovered her daughter's backpack was gone too. But at that height, her daughter couldn't possibly have reached it. She must have been snatched by someone. Kaylee was instantly overcome with panic. She needed to speak to the captain immediately. Without hesitation, she charged toward the cockpit. But just as she began frantically pounding on the door, she was suddenly restrained by the air marshal behind her. Her actions had severely disrupted the other passengers. The commotion finally reached the captain, yet he merely inquired whether Kyle had consumed alcohol or taken medication before boarding. Clearly, he dismissed her claims as hallucinations. Kyle, sounding increasingly uncertain, admitted she was taking anti-anxiety medication. She then explained her husband had fallen to his death 6 days prior, prompting her to start the medication. This flight was to bring his remains home for burial. His coffin was in the cargo hold. Her voice grew urgent as she insisted her daughter had boarded with her, holding her hand before falling asleep. This, she declared, was no hallucination. Her frantic state stirred sympathy in the captain. Though everyone else claimed not to have seen the girl, he ordered all passengers back to their seats and directed a thorough search of every conceivable hiding place for a child. They combed every corner of the cabin, including the overhead bins and lavatories, even the cargo hold and equipment compartments. Yet they found no trace of her daughter. Kyle scanned the space beneath each seat row by row, with Officer Carson trailing close behind, wary she might act impulsively. As they passed a row of passengers, Kyle suddenly recognized the bearded man as familiar, though she couldn't place where she'd seen him before.